Hi all, today we are going to discuss about single phase half wave rectifier with RLE load. So for that I am taking the supply which is given by V maximum sin omega t. This is the waveform for our supply and this is connected to RLE load through a thyristor. So now if you want to analyze the voltage across a thyristor, voltage across a thyristor will be voltage difference between both sides, because here also there is a voltage source. Under this zero initial conditions, that means no energy is stored in the inductor. So because anyway resistor will not store any energy. Under non-operating conditions, the voltage across a thyristor will be this side, this anode is connected to Vs and cathode is connected to E. That means the voltage across the thyristor in this reference direction will be Vs minus E, because E is connected in this side. So you can see here, this is my E. So let us take for example E is positive, so E is connected here. So this is my Vs. So voltage across the thyristor in the initial conditions will be minus E, that means it is reverse biased. And when the value of the Vs is equal to E, so at that instant the voltage across thyristor will be 0. So above this value the voltage across a thyristor will be positive. So now when the voltage across a thyristor is positive, we can apply the firing, the triggering pulse to the gate. So let us assume the gate triggering pulse is applied Ig, then the thyristor will start conducting. So what I mean to tell here, you are always this triggering angle or the firing angle which is given by alpha should be greater than this value theta 1. Let us take this angle as theta 1. So how to calculate this theta 1? Theta was in the instant at which the value of the voltage across a thyristor is equal to 0. So above that it becomes positive. Or we can tell at the value of the theta 1, V maximum sin theta 1 will be equal to E, or from this I can calculate theta 1 will be equal to sin inverse of E divided by V1. So your firing angle should be always greater than the value of the theta 1. Otherwise what happens? Your thyristor is in reverse bias condition, so it will not operate. It will not turn on. So up to what instant it will turn on? You can see here it will be continuously conducting, because once it is fired at an angle, at this angle alpha, your thyristor will act as a closed switch. Up to where it will start conducting? It will conduct up to this instant. So again at this instant the voltage across the thyristor will be Vs minus E, because at this instant it will be 0. So above that Vs minus will be E be equal to negative. So if only RE load is there, then it will automatically turn off at this instant. Let us assume this instant I am representing by theta 2, where the value of the theta 2 is equal to pi minus theta 1, because theta 1 is from this instant, pi minus theta 1 I can tell. So at pi minus theta 1 it will stop conducting. But now because due to the inductor, we have seen in the last class also, when L is added along with the R, it will not allow the current to suddenly rise nor the current to suddenly become 0. So because of that the current will not follow the voltage wave, it will increase slowly, and at the same rate it will decrease slowly, and it will not extinct or it will not become 0 at this instant of theta 2. So it will always be greater than theta 2. So what we can tell, that the current, we are going to prove that the current will start conducting from alpha. From the alpha it will grow on increasing. So it will go on increasing like this, it will reach some peak value, and it will not become 0 at theta 2, it will become 0 at some value greater than the value theta 2. So that angle is called as the extension angle. So this angle, the value at which the current becomes 0, that is called as the extension angle beta. And from what instant it is starting? It is start conducting from alpha, and this duration for which it is conducting, so this duration is called as the conduction angle, the duration for which the current is non-zero. Similar way, when the gate pulse is applied here, we are going to derive the equation for this current, how this comes. So it will be like this. So this also waveform, let me draw it properly. So it will rise to some peak value, so then gradually it will decay. So this is my waveform for the current. So now coming to the output voltage. Output voltage, what happens? Whenever the thyristor is conducting, that means after alpha, the output voltage, that means your supply is connected to your output. So after this value, if you apply the KVL to this loop, we can observe that your output voltage V0, that means this total voltage across this entire set, that means RLE, that will be equal to your supply voltage. So we can tell that if this is your supply voltage, so up to after this instant, that means when the thyristor is fired, after this instant the output will follow your input only. It will follow your input. So before that, what will be your output voltage? When the thyristor is in turned off condition, the voltage across this will be this E only. So up to this instant it will be E. So after this instant it will rise and it will follow. So up to where it will continue? Until the current becomes 0, because it will act as a closed switch. So this angle up to this point it will be conducting. So that's why our output voltage will follow your source voltage up to this instant. So after this angle beta, so this angle is equal to beta, automatically it will turn off. So when the thyristor is turned off, again your output voltage will be equal to again E. So again at this instant it is turned on. Let us assume it is turned on at an instant of Ig. So I have not drawn this waveform properly. So this waveform will be something like this. So at this instant again it is turned on, so it will follow your supply voltage up to this angle. So again it will continue like this. So this way the output voltage will come. So output voltage either it will be equal to E or it will follow our supply voltage. This is what I mean to tell. So now coming to voltage across the thyristor. So when the thyristor is turned off, the voltage across the thyristor will be equal to, I already told you, it is the difference of Vs minus E. One side Vs is there, another side E is there. So the thyristor is turned off up to the angle of alpha. You agree with me? Up to the angle of alpha it is turned off. When it is turned off, the voltage across this will be your supply voltage minus E. That means when supply voltage is equal to 0, let us take this as minus E. When supply voltage is equal to 0, it will be minus E. And when the angle of theta 1, so this angle is equal to theta 1, it becomes 0. Gradually it will rise. And when the firing angle is phi, it will become equal to 0. So now again when the thyristor is turned off at beta, so it will rise to a value and it will gradually, it will follow your supply wave, and when it will become equal to 0, so at this instant it will become equal to 0. So at the angle of this one, so at this yellow line whatever I have represented here, so at this value it will be equal to 0 like this. So at this instant what will be the value? This value will be equal to E. So this is pi. So this value is pi plus theta 1. This is 2 pi, right? This is 2 pi. This is 2 pi plus theta 1. This is 2 pi plus theta 1 and that is B. So now for how much duration it is reverse biased, because after this it will be forward biased and conducting like this. So this angle, so up to this much time, this time is called as the circuit turn off time. We have already discussed in our previous sections. Circuit turn off time is the time for which your thyristor is reverse biased and non-conducting. So how much duration it is there? You can see here this is beta and it is non-zero and it is a negative value up to 2 pi plus theta. At theta it is becoming equal to 0. At 2 pi it will be equal to minus E. So this I can write as 2 pi plus theta 1 minus beta, because 2 pi plus theta 1 minus beta, because up to beta, from beta 1 to up to here it is there, divided by omega, because this is omega t, this axis is omega t, that's why it is coming like this. So I hope up to here it is clear to you. So now let us proceed further and try to derive what will be the equation for the output current. So output current is equal to source current in this case. Let us try to calculate that one. So when the thyristor is turned on, so in that case if you apply the KVL, this will be equal to, Vs will be equal to VL. So Vs is nothing but V maximum sin omega t. This will be equal to, the load voltage is having three components. One is drop due to resistor, drop due to inductor and E. So this I can write as R into I naught plus L into di naught by dt plus E. So this current, because of the inductor, it will not allow the sudden change. Because of this, the transient component also will add along with the steady state component. So we can tell that the current I naught is having two components. One is the steady state component or the component of current that remains once the transients die out. And there is one transient component that happens due to the inductor. We have already seen and derived in our previous lectures. This transient component will come as A e to the power of minus R by L into T. A is the initial conditions, what is the value of the current. So that one we are going to derive from the boundary conditions. Coming to the steady state component, this steady state component again have two components. One component is due to RL and another component is due to E. So due to RL, we know the steady state component we have studied in network theory. This is equal to V maximum by Z sine of omega t minus phi, where phi is equal to, it is the angle by which your current is lagging behind your voltage, that is tan inverse of omega L by R, and Z is the impedance that is equal to square root of R square plus omega L square. So now coming to because of E, only if E is there, so what is the value? That is called as steady state component due to E. Only if RL is there, what is the steady state component? That is given by this IS1. So only when E is there, when the second component is not there, because the direction of E, because E, you can see here upper plate is positive, so the current that is produced only if E is there, Vs is absent, the current will pass in opposite direction, or we can tell we have to take the sign because of the current as minus. So this will be minus E divided by R. Agree with me? So now summarizing or adding all these components, so I can write my I naught will be equal to V maximum by Z sin of omega t minus phi minus E by R plus the transient component is A e to the power of minus R by L into T. This is I am taking as equation number 1. So we have to find the value of A. So the A can be obtained from the boundary conditions. So we know at omega t is equal to alpha. That means when the thyristor is fired, at that instant the current I naught is equal to 0, because after alpha only the current will start rising. When the switch is closed, your inductor will not allow the sudden change. So the current will be equal to 0. So I am substituting that. So I am substituting omega t is equal to alpha and I naught is equal to 0 in this equation. So this equation number 1 becomes 0 is equal to V maximum by Z sin of omega t now becomes equal to alpha. So this will be sin of alpha minus phi minus E by R plus A into e to the power of minus R by L into, we have to substitute T, because omega t is equal to alpha, so T becomes alpha divided by omega. So same thing I have substituted here. So from this I can solve for the value of A. A we will get as this value. So this one I have substituted in the original equation to get the final equation. So I get the value of I naught will be equal to, I have substituted this, this is same, this one is already there, this is the value of A. So multiplied by e to the power of minus R by L into T. So that one came. I have rearranged the terms. When you rearrange, you will get as V maximum by Z into sin omega t minus phi, and here also it is there. So minus sin alpha minus phi e to the power of minus R by omega L into omega t minus alpha. So minus E by R into, again this equation comes. So from this we can tell that it is having one sinusoidal term and one exponential term also. So the exponential term will go on decaying with respect to time, and one more term is there because of the source, that is E by R. Because of this also, this sign you can see this is equal to minus sign, this is of the form 1 minus e to the power of term. So if you are substituting all these things, you will get the equation what we have seen before. So because this current will gradually rise, after that it will fall down and finally it will come to the 0. It will come to the final value as 0 at some point. So now let the current I naught become 0 at the extension angle given by some beta. So this extension angle beta how to obtain? Because we know again after the extension angle or at the boundary value of beta, the current I naught will be equal to 0. So substitute I naught is equal to 0 here, and omega t you can substitute beta and solve for the value of beta. So beta will be greater than the value of theta 2. Theta 2 is nothing but pi minus theta 1. Always the value will be greater than that. You solve for the value of beta at which it will be again become equal to 0. By that we can find the value beta. So now the conduction angle we have seen there, the duration for which the current is non-zero, that conduction is equal to gamma is equal to beta minus alpha. So the extension angle is beta and it is starting conducting from alpha. That is the reason. So always this value of beta will be greater than pi minus theta 1 or theta 2. Let us go back to this once again so that you will understand. So this is my value of theta 2. At theta 2 you can see that Vs minus E is equal to 0. At this theta 2 Vs minus E is equal to 0. So at this instant Vs minus E is equal to 0. Agree with me? So if there is no L, so automatically at this instant the current will stop conducting. But because the inductor will not allow the sudden change in the current, so it will extend beyond this. So it can extend any duration after this, it can extend up to 2 pi. It depends on how much value of the inductance is there. So that's why you have to remember that always the extension angle will be greater than theta 2. What is this theta 2? Theta 2 is nothing but pi minus theta 1. Theta 2 is pi minus theta 1, right? So that will be there. So that's why I have same thing I have mentioned here. the value of beta is always greater than pi minus theta 1 due to the effect of the inductance. If inductance is absent, that is only RE load is there, then in that case that beta will be equal to pi minus theta 1. It will extinguish, because it will extinguish at that point, it will stop conducting at that point. So now the circuit turn off time, also this I have already derived, that omega Tc is equal to, it is conducting for a duration of 2 pi minus beta minus theta 1, or it is 2 pi plus theta 1 minus beta. Tc can be written as divided by omega. So this I have already discussed, so I am skipping here. Now coming to the average output voltage. So average output voltage again have the three components. One is the voltage due to E, one is the voltage drop across the resistor, and the second one is the voltage drop across the inductor. So we know the inductor property is average value of the voltage across the inductor in a full cycle will be equal to 0. We have already seen in basic electrical engineering, if you have doubt how the voltage across, average voltage across inductor is equal to 0. So how the inductor voltage is 0, you can please refer to my basic electrical engineering playlist. So single phase AC connected to pure inductor. So there I have explained all the phenomena. So as it will be equal to 0, I need not consider it, because you can add and calculate also. You will see the derivation in the books, which will be so much complex to derive. So that's why I want to teach you the simple one, how to solve in the exam easily. So that's why I can write my value of V0 will be equal to E plus I0 multiplied by R, where I0 is equal to average value of the current. So how to calculate this average value of the current? This average output current can be obtained by 1 by 2 pi, and your circuit is conducting from alpha to beta. So you have to take only the effect of the source voltage and E. So this is V maximum sine omega t minus E divided by R d omega t. This gives my average output current. So if you are substituting this, you will get it as 1 by 2 pi R into V maximum into this sine omega t will become equal to minus cos omega t. So when you substitute, it will become equal to cos alpha minus cos beta, and the second component will be E multiplied by omega t. Omega t, if you substitute, it will be beta minus alpha. So similarly, I can calculate my RMS value. RMS value also same thing, 1 by 2 pi. Out of this duration, it is conducting from alpha to beta. So we have to take V maximum sin omega t minus E divided by R whole square d omega t. So if you expand this and solve it, you will get the answer. So now in the exam, they may ask what is the input supply power factor. So for calculating the input supply power factor, you have to remember one thing: input power is equal to output power. So this is the equation you have to do. We know that the input power equal to RMS value of input voltage multiplied by RMS value of input current multiplied by input power factor. So otherwise we can tell that input power factor is equal to output power divided by input volt amperes. That means RMS value of input voltage multiplied by RMS value of the input current. RMS value of input voltage is Vs is equal to V maximum by root 2, and RMS value of the current, because source current is equal to load current in this example. So that's why we can calculate the RMS value this by equal to VOR. This is VOR, this is same as equal to VOS. So both are same, whether you calculate VOR or VOS, both are same, right? So now coming to the battery is stored based on the DC component only, not RMS component. So that's why for battery you have to multiply E multiplied by average value of the current, that is DC component of the current, and the power loss or the heat is produced due to the RMS value. That's why the drop or the power consumed by the resistor will be equal to I RMS value square into R. That is the reason I have substituted this one. I hope how to calculate the values of different components for RLE load. So what is the effect of the inductor, how the waveform for the current is changing are completely clear to you. If you still have any queries, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. I will answer to your queries from there. Thank you very much.